Hi Baes, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Ofenta and I am your book bae. Your book bae is in the building once again, bringing you some bookish realness, honey. And welcome to all my new subscribers. I hope you stick around and we can grow this community. We read over here, we enjoy books over here, we engage over here. Shout out to my accountability coach. She knows herself. I hope she's watching this video. I was actually supposed to post in January, but then I had an issue. I didn't like the lighting, I didn't like my makeup. Since then, my ring light has broken. My tripod is nowhere to be found. So right now, how I'm actually filming this, you guys would laugh. I'm balancing my phone on, what is it? Burglar rail. This room is a mess, but the content comes first. I feel like it's taken too long for me to film. Like, we're in February. I was supposed to post this video in January. But in any case, as you can tell by the title of this review, we are discussing All About Love by Bell Hooks, a sociologist and also an author. I came across a lot of her writing when I was in varsity and I did a course in feminism and feminist writings throughout history. Also something to do with chick lit. Unfortunately, I don't remember exactly what the course is about. I just remember feminism, I remember chick lit, and I remember English literature. But it was such a long time ago, 2017. But yeah, I came across a lot of her writing in that course as well as in sociology. I was a sociology major. Fun fact, I was a triple major. So I majored in sociology, English, and journalism and media studies in my undergrad. So in any case, I love Bell Hooks. I think that her writing, she has this way of simplifying things that are very complex, like complex terms, and then just bringing it down to a level that is kind of comprehensible. I feel like the way she expresses herself and the examples that she uses are tangible and understandable to me. So I love that. So I decided to read her book, All About Love, which was first published in the 90s in December, and it was an exploration in terms of what love is to different people and different forms of love, because she made an interesting point in the book, which I think is still true to this day, is that love is always defined, is not necessarily spoken about as a concept. Like, it exists, we know that, oh, I love this, I love that, but what is love? What is love at a granular level? Like, if I'm saying, what does it mean to be loved? What would most people say? They would attribute the feeling of what it feels to be loved. But I think sometimes when we discuss love, there's kind of like the intentionality piece that's missing. And more as we discuss it and we become more aware of ourselves in relation to others and the world, we kind of start to interrogate some of these things. What is love? What is betrayal? What is loyalty? And not just thinking about them in the context of, okay, this is what this means when I feel this way, but what is it like as a separate idea? What does that mean? So I think that the book does a good job at exploring that. So that's just a little bit about the book. I would say perhaps the synopsis of the book, it's really just different chapters which deal with different forms of love and how she encourages us to explore love and engage with love and understand what love is. With regards to the structure of the book is divided into a few chapters, and each chapter deals with a specific theme. So there's a theme that deals with how we talk to children with regards to love. What is romantic love? What is platonic love? With regards to justice, how does love exist in a just society? How does the environment that love is cultivated or introduced affect how someone receives it, or how they learn to give or receive love? How do you actually know that you are loved? Just like a holistic view of love. And one thing that I loved in the book that I 100% agreed with, and I was kind of thinking about it in terms of my own relationships with people in my life, is love being defined as a more holistic term, as opposed to just being viewed as just one thing, like, okay, I love people because I do this, but like, what does that actually mean to love somebody? And something that she discussed is how love is just the wanting somebody to be the best, like nurturing everything that it means to be a person. So when you love somebody, you care and you nurture their emotions, you nurture their physical. So an example I can give of that is a parent who decides that they're going to make sure that their child always has a roof over their head and food to eat. Might say that they're doing it because they love their child, but then their child feels like their emotional needs are not met. So is that love? Because love if we look at it from a perspective of being like a holistic term, there are some needs of that child that are being neglected. So can the parent really say that they love the child, which is just like, for me, a mind altering thing, because I also thought about it like, okay, in relation to, I say that I love people in my life and people that matter to me, but how am I nurturing them in the other aspects that I might not necessarily be thinking about or considering at that time? And what is my responsibility to that person the moment that I say that I love them, or the moment that I feel like I am going to view this person as a specific way in my life? What are my what are my intentions and what are my desires when I say that I would like to be loved in a certain way? Can I give that love and also receive the love that I am wanting or giving out? It was just, it was deep. I think that it's definitely a book that you need to read when you are open. It's not something that you would read. I don't think you should necessarily read it so quickly, like just with the intention of wanting to finish it, because I feel like you would miss out on a lot of nuggets. I think it's also another one of those books where you would benefit from having a notebook and pen and just asking yourself some of the questions and working through some of the subject matter with regards to your own life, thinking about it like, okay, one term that I absolutely loved, or I think exercise that she encouraged, is looking at how we introduce love to children. So she said that children specifically, when they are asked what is love or how do you feel loved, they will tell whoever is asking them that I feel loved when my mom does X for me, or I am allowed to do Y. And although that is, I guess, would I say symptom, or would I say byproduct of what love is, being feeling a certain way and being allowed to do certain things, but what is love in its, like, as it exists in its box of love, although it doesn't exist in a box because it's much more complex than that. But just what is, when someone says I'm loved, okay, we understand that that's a feeling, but what is love? I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, because as much as I was reading this book, I think it just encouraged me to think more broadly, but I still have a lot of question marks with regards to what it all actually means. And I think that the book is a good departure point with regards to that. So it's not a long book at all. It's about like just over 200 pages. And then we can go into what I liked about the book. So I think that I've discussed a lot of what I've liked about the book in relation to the subject matter and the writing style, that it's accessible, it's understandable, it gives you time and it prompts you to reflect more deeply. What didn't I like about the book? I don't really necessarily think there's anything that I didn't like about the book. It's more so one of those books, again, that you just need to be in the right headspace and be willing to explore, be willing to be open to the experience, and really not guarded emotionally, or kind of reach a certain level of self-awareness, or be open to not knowing and understanding as much as you think you do, or you know some of the subject matter. When you think about how you've been shown love, or maybe your upbringing might be a little bit triggering for some. I know I watched a lot of reviews with regards to the book, that some bookish content creators decided that they were going to explore it on a more personal basis, and a lot of them were very triggered with the subject matter, because they realized, like, wait, this whole time maybe I wasn't actually loved, or etc, etc. So that can be kind of a very jarring experience. So that's just, I guess I would say trigger warning. But yeah, I guess that's what there is not to like about the book. Overall, I think I would give the book a rating. I think I give it a solid 8 out of 10. So why I say 8 out of 10 is because I think that those 2 points that would make it a 10 out of 10 would be what you are willing to bring to the table, the work that you're willing to do in order to decipher or derive value from reading the book. So that means that if you are reading the book and you're just kind of reading it as a matter of fact, but not doing the reflection or internal reflection, with regards to what the book requires and encourages, then you're not really going to get much value of the book. In fact, it might end up just being a 6 out of 10. You might feel like it's very deep and etc, etc. And of course, there are certain elements or aspects of the book that we're not necessarily going to relate to, because it's just maybe out of our frame of reference, or it's just not something that we agree with. But I think that that's that too, that you would derive and make it derive value from and make it a 10 out of 10. So would I recommend the book? I definitely would recommend the book. I would recommend the book to people who just want to love and feel love more deeply. I think it encourages you to figure out what it is, what you actually view love as, and is it something that is tangible? Is it conditional? Do you feel like you give love freely? And how do you experience love? Do you feel love? How do you receive love? And how your upbringing or certain traumas or other things that you've been experienced, or maybe even happy moments, how has that framed your view or your outlook of life and by extension love? So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. We are building this community and we made it to 1,000 subscribers. I'm so happy, because when I built this platform, it was really a visual diary with regards to what I'm reading, and at some stage I dabbled with the lifestyle stuff, and I may or may not do that in future, but the basic premise of this channel is about reading and loving reading and exploring books. So please do comment below if there are any books that you would like me to read and review. And if this book goes up before I think it's the 10th of February, please note that I will be having a bookish sale on my Instagram page, where I will be selling some of the titles that I've read that I don't think I will read again, or I would just like to, pass on to the next person. So yeah, that's it from me. Bye for now.